this one here? Can you see what it is? Please. And so? But why? Great. Okay, so read it.
Cornflakes.
Okay, Malena, what's this?
Is it a name?
No.
No.
This is an adjective that refers to a comparison. Es blanco como la nieve.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Who can take it?
Can I take it?
Yes.
So if it's an adjective, it shall be double stressed.
So what
So
does
it's
it sound like?
Snow White.
Snow white. Yes, that's it. It's an adjective. It functions as an adjective. What about this one, Dana? Do you know how to read this one?
I think yes. I would say olive oil.
What's that? Single or double?
I think it is single.
Why?
Let's see. I haven't realized this for a while, but isn't it a type of compound?
Type of? Let's see. Class, do you agree?
To me, it is double.
Okay, why, Malena?
Because to me, we can apply the ingredient rule.
Okay.
Oil made of olive.
Okay. Yeah, do you agree with this? Dana, I know you do. Everybody agrees. Okay, so let's have it as double stress. This is the ingredient rule, right? So double stress. What about this one? It says founding and then fathers. Mariano.
I don't know this word, but I guess this is fathers that found.
Yes, that founded.
That founded. So this is double stressed.
Can you read it?
Founding fathers.
Yes, these are los padres de la patria, but in the United States. When we talk about los padres de la patria, San Martín, Belgrano, they talk about the founding fathers, right? Next one. Malena, do you know this?
I can guess, but I'm not sure.
But you have your notes there.
Yes, but I don't know.
You couldn't find it? Leonidas, do you have this one?
Yes, I think it's a kind of girl. So I would say baby girl.
No.
No?
That would be your last resort, yes? If you have no other thing, well, okay, go for the typo. But there's another one for this one. Dana, do you have this one?
No, I was thinking about this, but I don't have an example written. The whole compound functioning as an adjective?
No, this is a noun as a whole. Okay, the one that functions as an adjective is Snow White, the one Malena had. Yes, that one. Gabriela, do you know? Hi, Gabriela.
Hi, yes. I have written down gender.
Yes.
But if it says gender, it's a double stress, baby girl.
Okay, that's a baby girl, right? Double stress because the word refers to gender. How about this one? Dana, do you know this one?
Yes, is single stressed because we have letter plus word.
So read it.
So A level.
Okay, Leonidas. It says winter and then holidays.
It's double stress because the first word is the time of the second. So it's winter holidays.
Okay, you say double stressed and not stress. Yes, double stressed. Okay, winter holidays. How about this one? Whose turn is it? Malena, is it yours?
Yes. No?
I don't know. Mariano, I think it's your turn now. Mariano.
Sorry, I lost my connection. What did you say, Claudia? I said single stress.
Yes,
What?
it's single stressed.
Okay.
I have to hear the T at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Next one,
Thank you.
Mariano.
This is single stressed because it's powdering. Powder for washing.
Machine for washing.
Ah,
Washing powder is from
no.
Edna Campbell. Yes. So can you read it? Okay. Next one.
Sorry,
Malena.
I have a doubt. Can't
Yes.
we say that it is a machine that washes? No.
Yes, but remember that when you say that, what you mean is that the machine has to be the agent, right? It's the subject. And here, this is a machine that you use for washing. The machine doesn't do anything on its own, right? The machine is not the agent. That's why it's confusing, I know, yes, but it has to do it on its own. So if you can paraphrase it like that. So what about this one? Is it your turn now, Malena? Yeah, Malena.
Okay. Is it a name, right?
Yes, do you know the meaning of this?
No.
No, it's a flag. It's a British flag.
Oh.
This is, they call it like this.
Okay. So it is double stressed because it is a proper name.
So read it.
Union Jack.
Okay, how about next one? Dana?
Yeah, well, I would resort to the type of, but you said
Yeah,
it was last
it would be
resort.
right. Yes, because there are other types of cards there. You can check like that, you see? You have a Christmas card.
Yeah.
So can you read it?
So is it because of the type of?
Yes.
Oh, great. Credit card.
Credit card. Okay, next one, Leonidas.
I think it's a noun. So if it's a noun, it's single stress turnout.
Yes, remember that when you're discussing this, you have to show difference and contrast between single and double stressed. Okay, so this is single stressed because it's the noun, it's turnout. Yes, and you realize because it's monolithic. The noun is monolithic. How about this one, Maya Gabriela? Time consuming.
Here the compound would work as an adjective.
There's another rule that fits this better. We have a rule where the second word is the ing. And that's the one you should be applying here because the one of the adjective won't help you.
Oh, do,
Yes.
direct object plus ing. Okay.
Okay.
Time
Yes,
precise. So single stressed, time consuming.
Right. Yes. This is a case of do fronting. So when you have the ing on the second word, don't apply the one of adjectives. Apply the one with the ing. Okay. Mariano, what's this?
This is single stressed, but this is the rule for ingredient. But we have the word juice, so it would be like orange juice.
Orange juice.
Orange juice.
No,
orange
you cannot
juice.
apply. You cannot apply non-audible release for orange. Remember that affricates keep their fricative release. Good. Next one, Malena.
Yes. Make up. It is a verb.
So,
that's why. So it is double stressed.
Okay. Next one, Dana.
I'm not sure, but isn't it the fronted direct object?
Yep.
Okay, so it is single stress, lie detector.
Okay. There's another explanation for this or another label that we used. Remember, performer of the action or doer of the action, but it's, you can say direct object fronted if that helps you, it's okay. Leonidas.
Yes, it's an acronym. It's double stressed. So it's FBI.
Okay. Next one, Gabriela.
I'm not sure what that means.
No? A person who picks pockets.
Oh, I would say single stress because it's monolithic.
Yes.
Pickpocket.
A pickpocket. How about the next one, Mariano?
This is double stressed because it is an adverb.
see.
Indoors.
Yes. And this one, Malena?
Single stressed makeup because it is a noun.
And this one, Dana?
I have it in single stress because it is an adjective. Is it correct?
Yes. Remember that this group of words, indoors, outdoors, inside, and they follow their own rule, which is this one. Let's see if this was fine. Yes, good. Okay, there we go. Well, that was the last. This was our last exercise with compounds, okay? So as from now, then next time it will be just test, okay? You will have to provide the rules and no notes, of course, right? Okay. I would like to go over the no, it was a transcription that you wrote for today. So you can ask, I don't know, some of you had some doubts. I find it very hard to answer questions in writing there. So I will read and then you can ask if you have any doubts. And there are a couple of things. Some of these texts I choose because there are some things I would like to discuss. So you're not supposed to know it, okay? But don't get nervous, right? Don't tell me, I didn't know that. Yeah, I know. But that's one. This is why we're doing these transcriptions. So jobs we love to hate. I hate it when you ring up a big company, for example. Now, for example, some of you wrote a pause and then, for example, as a separate IP. What is, for example? Get the sheet of paper that you have for special cases of tonicity, because that's where you're going to place this. For example, this is what is it? Can you guess? Do you think you know?
Isn't it a context setting?
No, it's not. Context setting is for adverbs.
Adverbs.
Or phrases, yes, but they have to mean time or place.
Okay.
That's what we mean by context setting. For example,
Is it a non-nuclear tail?
it's a non-nuclear tail. This is a discourse marker. Okay. So you can add it. I think we have already mentioned discourse markers. So for example, is a discourse marker when it comes at the end, okay? So it's non-nuclear. It shouldn't have another IP and it shouldn't be the nucleus, right? And you're trying to get through to someone. Why is the nucleus on through, Gabriela? You're muted.
Sorry, because someone is a word of general reference. To is a function
Yeah,
verb.
I'm not interested in two.
Right.
When I ask you, it's because there is a lexical item and we did not place the nucleus there. I don't expect you to place the nucleus on a function word like to, okay? So my question was basically, why not on someone if someone is a lexical item? Why not? Because this is a context setting adverb, right? You do not,
Word of
word of general reference. And in English, we do not place the nucleus on words of general reference, right?
And then how do we finish the explanation? We go back to the last lexical item.
Yes, you look for another lexical item, yes, to the left, the next one. Okay, and all you get is a voice that tells you to hold the line. Okay, there you had several possibilities of tone. Do you have any doubts about this part, these first three lines?
I have one.
Yes.
In the first line. I hate when you ring up a big company. I placed the nucleus on company, but a full, with a full tone.
Yes.
And it is a full rise.
Full. I hear full, as you're saying full, a full tone. It's not full,
Sorry.
it's a fall. Fall.
Full. Yes, I don't understand why can't we write a full one?
It's not wrong. I mean, tones are always debatable, but if you use a fall there, you mean that this is the increment. This is the sort of complete idea. I hate it when you ring up a big company, for example. But that's not, I mean, the idea is not complete. It's not, what you hate is not ringing up a big company. What you hate is ringing up a big company and trying to get through to someone, and then you get a voice that tells you to hold the line. Okay? So if you want the listeners to wait for the whole idea, then you need a fall rise or a rise. Okay? Better than that fall. And then they just leave you there. Why is the nucleus on leave, Mariano?
Maybe because there is not a lexical item.
There is a lexical item, it's an adverb.
So I don't know.
But
Leonida?
maybe it's not as heavy as leave as a verb, or no.
No, that's not the reason. Malena?
I haven't done it, but I think it is old information. If we say
No.
no,
No.
No,
Dana?
it's a setting context adverb. One of these.
Context setting adverb. This is a context setting adverb. There, here. Okay? Now, at present, nowadays. They set the context, either the time or the place. They just leave you there. Sometimes they play a horrible little tune that repeats itself over and over again. Do we have any doubts? Dana?
Yes, and here I placed the full rise, and it is a full because I thought this was a compound unit with the other
Compound.
compound with the
Co,
other.
number 6. Co.
That was
Lot.
the strut or the other one, the strut.
Lot.
Okay. Compound.
I still hear strut, compound. It's compound.
Compound.
Okay.
Good. Yes, that. I thought it was a compound.
And you use the fall rise in tune?
Yes.
Yes, it's possible. A horrible little tune that repeats itself over and over again. Yes, it's possible. Two things I want to tell you about this sentence. First, when we get self pronouns, right? What do we do when we get self pronouns? Well, self pronouns may be of two kinds. They could be reflexive, they could be emphatic. Do you know the difference? Grammatically, have you seen self pronouns? Yeah? Okay. Well, I'll give you a sort of easy or simple explanation. When the self pronoun is reflexive, what it means is that the action is reflected upon the subject. Okay? So if you say, for example, I burned myself. I burned myself. The action comes back to the agent, to the subject. All right? I love myself. I hate myself. He hurt himself. Okay, is this clear? In Spanish, if you're in doubt, well, in Spanish, we don't translate it. Me lastimé, me amo, yo me amo, me quemé, se quemó. Nunca decimos se quemó el mismo, me lastimé yo misma. No se traduce, okay? That's reflexive. When it is reflexive, it's non-nuclear in English, right? So, I've burned myself. I've hurt myself. I love myself. The other use of self is the emphatic use. When it is emphatic, it means alone, without help, okay? Like he did it himself. I myself saw him. And as you can guess, when it's emphatic, you do place the nucleus there, right? And we tend to translate it in Spanish. Maybe this helps you recognize them, right? Yo misma lo vi. Lo hizo él solo, o lo hizo él mismo, lo hizo él solo, sin ayuda. Okay? So here, it repeats itself over and over again. If you had had a separate type P, you would not place the nucleus on self. You would put it on repeat. It repeats itself over and over again. And now what do we do with again? This is another word that may or may not take the nucleus with different meaning, okay? So if again means one more time, like this one, over and over again, you place the nucleus there, okay? It means one more time. So, oh, the composition is a disaster. Your language teacher tells you. You'll have to write it again, okay? Do it again. Say it again. I couldn't hear you. Please say it again. It means one more time, okay? Now, if again means back to a previous state, okay, back to a previous state. For example, well, all the shops are closed. Soon they will be open again. This doesn't mean they will be open one more time. It means they will go back to the way they were in the past. Okay? So Tom married 3 times. And you know what? Now, well, he got divorced and now he met a girl and what? Guess what's going to happen?
He will marry.
He will marry again. Okay, one more time. He will marry again, right? Because he says he's always happy, okay, when he's married. But then after a while, he's not happy anymore, right? And so he gets divorced, and then when he gets married again, he feels
Happy again.
he feels happy again, okay? Because he goes back to the state of happiness. Okay, stupid example, isn't it? Oh, well, okay, was it clear what to do with again? Good, wonderful. So that repeats itself over and over again, and you don't know what's happening at all. This is another word, okay? This is actually what we mean by when we say emphasis. These expressions that are emphatic, like at all, I don't know, in the world, thank you very much, okay? They express this sort of intensity, right? So you need to place a nucleus there, especially the word at all, the expression at all. I don't like it at all. When you say at all, it's because you are going to place a nucleus there. And it's particularly annoying if it's a long distance call, because it's costing a lot of money. Okay, any questions? Nope, nothing? Okay, good. You feel comfortable doing these transcriptions? You're sort of
Yes.
handling them?
Sorry, I wanted to ask, in the first chunk, I
Yes.
divided the sentence in 2 chunks. And I said, I hate it with a full rise, like it's the preparatory, and then we have the increment.
Yeah, the tones are okay. The problem is, does I hate it deserve a separate IP?
No, now that I remember, if I use the full rise, maybe I'm saying that that's not important information, but important is what comes next.
No, but that would be okay, because what you mean is it's not complete, okay? So in order to have the complete idea, wait for it. But the question here is basically a question of tonality, not of tone. Yes, the tone would be okay. The question is, does I hate it require a separate IP?
No, I'm not talking
I
to
think it's no, I think it's too much.
young. Okay.
Let's try it. I hate it when you bring up a big company, for example. I hate it when you bring up a big company, for example. I
Yes,
hate
no,
it when you ring up a big company for it.
that's better.
I wouldn't say, oh no, that's terrible, horrible, but maybe it's a bit too much for that expression.
Yes.
Okay.
Claudia, I have a
Yes.
question. I was unable to do the homework, and I was wondering if we hand it in late, is it still going to be corrected?
I have corrected up to, I don't know, quarter of an hour earlier than the class. So it doesn't matter if it's late. I need some type of order, right? Because I take some time to correct. And now, for example, we've discussed this. What's the point in doing this transcription once we have discussed it?
Okay.
I mean, if you want to do it for practice, no problem. Yes. Remember, for me, well, if you ask me, is it better to do it or not to do it? Well, do it. Yeah, do it because it's better for you.
Yes, I'll do it.
The
I
mark.
just don't hand it in.
Sorry.
I do it, but I don't hand it in.
No, do if you want.
Oh, okay.
Do if you do it. If you do it, do hand it in so you get a mark that you have done it. The thing is, I mean, I don't pay much attention to these marks. Okay, so it's not that's not relevant. Okay, well, I've asked you to read interpersonal metafunction and the part of the text. How did you find that?
A bit difficult, but I need your explanation now.
Okay, you need my explanation now.
I think it wasn't that heavy, but there are some things that I
Okay.
cannot.
Could you do the text as you went along? For example,
Yeah.
the first part, and you did the text, yes? And the rest, could you read? Malina, no. Dana, no. Mariano, you did?
Yes, I agree with Leo. It's a complex text. I was reading it again, and again with the nucleus there, and well, it was a bit difficult.
Okay. Okay. Could you do the text? Did it help or not?
We were doing it with Leo, in fact, and we were like, okay, I think this is for this reason, but I can't really tell if this reason or this choice I'm making.
Okay. We'll work on those texts now, and we will use them as an excuse to sort of give a summary of the theory. Gabriela, could you read the interpersonal? No? Okay. All right. Well, so text 2. In order to analyze text 2, okay, let me briefly go over what we've done so far. Remember that now we're dealing with tone, okay? This is only tone.
Sorry, what page is it?
I'm going to work on text 2. I don't have the page. It starts, why do you...
140 something.
140 something?
148.
148. Why do you want to emigrate to Australia? Well, okay. So first, before we start with the dialogue, so far, we've been working, this is tone, okay? We're only dealing with tone. The notes are about more than tone, yeah? But, okay, tone. Up to now, yeah, first half of the year, we've been talking about tone and its use, or a very special type of use of the tone, okay? Which is the textual function of the tone, right? What is the textual function of the tone? How we organize information. So the tone will help us organize information, right? Remember we talked about theme and rime, preparatory and increment. Yeah, what does that mean? Well, that the tone will organize information into minor and major, dependent, independent, okay? we're always talking about the same tones, right? We're talking about the fall, we're talking about the fall rise, we're talking about the rise. But these tones will have different functions depending on what we need them for, okay? I am always Claudia, but I will have different roles, for example, depending on the context. Yes, I could be Claudia the neighbor, I could be Claudia the teacher, I could be not Claudia the headmistress, the headmistress, that's no longer the case. Yeah, so that's over and finished. But I will be Claudia the mother, yeah, Claudia the daughter. So I will take up different roles, but it's always the same Claudia. The same when we have a fall, for example. Okay, when do I use the fall? Well, it depends what I need it for. If what I'm doing is, for example, telling a story, what I want in that story, what the tone is going to do for me is organize that story, okay? I need it to organize. So that's what we call the textual function of the tone. And that's what we have seen up to now. So I'm not going to elaborate on that because you know, okay? This is all the charts you've written so far. Yes, complete, incomplete, theme, rime. That is the textual use of the tone, right? Okay, yes.
I got a question, but it's not related to tone. When you have za plus ya, right? What's the sound that will remain, let's say, or how, in which,
If you
in
apply
what sound?
coalescence,
Yes.
ja, the one
Okay.
it says ja, as you know,
As you know, okay.
as you. Okay, so back to tone now. When we speak, we're not only telling stories or describing, okay, or telling, I don't know, a fairy tale where we only organize the information and the other person is just listening, okay? When we interact with another person, we do other things. Sometimes we organize the message, but many other times we will be doing other things, okay? So when we interact with someone, we're going to call that the interpersonal meta function. Interpersonal. You understand why? Interpersonal. Because all the text, if you pay attention, you will see that all the texts that we have been using up to now are narratives, descriptions, right? Where I interact just with the text. I don't know if you're following. Yes, I just say the text. Yeah, I can tell you a story and I don't know if you're following or not. Okay, but I still tell the story. Now, when I interact with another speaker, and that we call the interpersonal meta function of language, the tone will help me for other things, right? Why do I interact with another person? Why do I interact? There are two basic reasons to interact with another person.
To communicate.
Sorry?
To communicate.
Yeah, but to communicate. How? There are two ways in which I can communicate, yes, or two basic functions.
To
To
give
ask,
information or to receive information?
Exactly. This is what we call exchange of information, right? I talk to somebody because I want information or because I want to give information. Okay? This we call the transactional function of language or intonation or whatever. Transactional. Transaction means exchange of information. Yes? And the other, but that's not all. Okay? If I ask you, I don't know, what did you do yesterday? This is transactional. I want to know. Yeah, you will give me information that I don't have. And I want to know, I want information if I ask you, what did you do yesterday? Okay? Are you, I don't know, are you British? You have to tell me yes or no. This is information, okay? I want to know Or maybe I tell you, oh, yesterday I went to the cinema. I tell you, okay? Information, information, information. Is this clear? Then we will see how the same fall, okay? The fall that worked as increment, how the fall will work when we are exchanging information directly with a speaker. The other big function, which is interpersonal, is, for example, if I ask you, um, um, can you tell me the time? Can you tell me the time? Can I borrow some money? Can I borrow some money? Is this exchange of information? If I ask someone, could you give me some money? Could you give me some money? Is this a question for information? No. What is it?
You're asking for something to
The
the other.
money. Give me the money. Your yes doesn't mean yes, I could give you the money. The yes means here you are. Here's the money. Okay? If I tell you, could you open the door? Yes, I could. We're not exchanging information. If I say, could you open the door? It means go and open the door. So if what I'm doing with language is not exchanging information, but what I'm doing is trying to make someone do something, yeah, get somebody to do something or not to do something, right? We call that, did I write interactional, transactional, interactional, or exchange of goods and services? Exchange of
Goods
goods
and
and
services.
services? Okay. It's the same. The problem is most phoneticians use the term interactional, but as it's very similar to interpersonal, students get confused. So interactional, interpersonal, they tend to use the same. So exchange of goods and services.
Sorry, Claudia, could you
Yes.
move your camera?
Yes, yes, just 1 second. Okay. There we go. Can you see it?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So exchange of goods and services is what they call interactional, right? So we've got it transactional, exchange of information, interactional, exchange of goods and services. What we mean by that is, okay, can you tell me the time? I am requesting the time. I want the time. I don't want to know if you can tell me the time, okay? Are we okay with that? These are the big basic functions. And then there's a third one, interpersonal, that we're going to leave it there, which is social exchange, yeah? Which is just social noise, like greetings, okay? They are social.
When we say I love you, is that social exchange?
What do you think?
Yes.
Why? Is it good manners? You say that for good manners?
No, but it's not, it's not information.
Why not?
Well, that's tricky because when you talked about the time, I thought it could be information as well. If somebody is giving you the information of time, of what time is it?
Yeah, it has a double function, but when you say it, the biggest communicative function is requesting. Because what you mean is, please tell me the time.
Oh,
okay?
All right. So if it could be said as an order, then it would be an exchange.
Also an exchange, yeah.
All right.
You will see that depending on the tone, you will give it the proper communicative function.
Okay.
It will be a request or an order depending on the tone you use.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what we're going to explore now.
So I love you. Yes, it's information.
I don't know that you love me. If you tell me I love you, oh, good. Oh, I'm so happy to know that you love me. Okay?
But if you say it to your spouse, then it becomes social? Because they already know.
No. Social means just good manners.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just good manners.
Great.
if you tell, I don't know, but maybe you want to, when you say something like that, even if you say that to your husband, you say, I love you. You mean, I'm telling you, okay? I'm telling you. Now, if you say, okay, within the exchange of information, say, but I know that, okay, you know it. You know, I love you. I love you. I love you. We all both know that I love you.
Okay,
So you
it
can
can
express
be old
something
information as well.
as shared, but it's within the transactional realm. Okay?
Okay, yes. Great.
Okay, so basic division of functions. Yes, I will be ignoring the textual function because we have already seen. When we're interacting with someone, we could exchange information, we could exchange goods and services, or we could just produce social noise. Okay?
I've got a question regarding the interactional function. Is it only with orders when we
No,
want
no.
to do something, or
No, any communicative function that you want to express, which has to do with influencing other people's behavior, right? Or it could be an order, it could be a request, it could be an invitation, right? It could be, I don't know, a threat, a promise, right?
oh, a promise as well?
Yes,
And
yes.
what about in special cases, like, I don't know, if you're marrying somebody, you're not exchanging information. If I say I do, you are performing an action. So is it?
Speech acts,
Yes.
speech acts. Those are exchange of goods and services.
Right.
I'm not
Yes.
informing you that I will respect you all my life, etc. I am swearing, I am promising, I am. So that's a different communicative function.
Yeah,
It is
that's
not informing.
semiology. That's why I was connecting things.
Yes, yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so if you have this clear an idea of what we do with language, because this is not has nothing to do with intonation. Now, and I will tell you how the tone can help us with these things, right? But when you, if somebody tells you, for example, you enter a shop, can I help you? Can I help you? Where would you? What's the biggest function of language when somebody tells you, can I help you? Where would you place it?
An exchange of goods and services,
Why?
because they are offering to help you,
They're offering to help you.
to do
Okay?
something for
There's
you.
no information there when they say, can I help you? What's the information passed? No information. Okay? And if you say, yes, please. Yes. Yes, please. Can I help you? Yes. Or yes, please. What's that?
Also goods and services,
Why?
because you're influencing the reaction of the person.
You're agreeing to be helped, right? You accept the offer. Of course, you can tell me, oh, well, but at the same time, I am informing the other person that I need a goods and services, etc. Well, yes, that is like that. But which is more important, do you think, when you answer, yes, please? What's more important? That I tell you that, yes, I need something, or that I accept your offer? That I accept your offer. Okay, so you have to decide what is the communicative, most pervasive communicative function of that IP that you are pronouncing, or that the other person is pronouncing. Okay, and so you have to decide if it is transactional, if it is interactional, or exchange of goods and services, right? Or if it is just social noise. Let's leave social noise somewhere there for the time being. Yes, it's only restricted to very few phrases, okay? Most of the things we're going to analyze will have to do with information or exchange of goods and services, okay? Is that division clear to you? Yes, good.
Yes.
Because then when you get a question like, Can you pass the salt? You will tell me this is a yes/no question. And what is a yes? What is a yes/no question? What is a yes/no question? It's a question that starts with an auxiliary. That's a yes/no question. And what does that say? What does that tell me? It tells me nothing about the function of the question. Okay, so don't tell me that's a yes/no question, right? The yes/no question is the shape of the question, but you know better than that. So if somebody tells you, could you please, could you pass the salt? What is this?
Yeah, exchanging of goods and services.
What is it? What's the communicative function of could you pass the salt?
Interactional function.
Yeah, but what is it?
A request.
It's a request. Okay. Could you pass the salt? Could you pass the salt? Is this still a request?
No, it sounds like an order.
It sounds like an order. I said the same words. It's still a yes/no question, isn't it? So what's the use of the label yes/no question, right? So interpret the question, right? Interpret it and tell me what the communicative function is. Is this okay? Great. Let's start working on transactional, okay? You keep this in mind. I'm going to erase this, okay? Because we're going to work now on the transactional function. By the way, while I erase the board, what do you think is the most common or most frequent use of language? When you analyze a text, what do you think you're going to find all the time?
The transactional use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, humans communicate to exchange information, right? So you will find, I don't know, if 80%, 85% will be transactional, right?
Do we say that it is, or the function used is transactional? So the verb we use is used, if you ask.
Function used.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Or this has,
yes.
or is being used with transactional function.
Yes, yes. For example, what Mariano has just asked, what would you say that is? What's the function of what Mariano said? He said, would you say that function is?
I think it is information, it's transactional.
It's transactional, right? And what is Dana's answer now? It's transactional. What was my question? I said, what do you think Mariano's question is?
Yeah, transactional.
Transactional, okay. Yes, you see, we basically communicate to exchange information. Now shut up. What's that? You can speak, you can speak.
Exchange, yeah, interaction.
That's exchange of goods and services. I told you to shut up, and that's no information. That's an order.
That's a very fancy way to say shut up.
Yeah, I will influence your behavior with my shut up. And then I told you, now it's okay, you can talk. What's that?
The same.
Exchange of goods and services. I'm allowing you to speak, okay? But how many times did I use this? Whatever we say, you see all the time, if you start analyzing, you'll see that everything is transactional, right? And inside what I'm saying now I'm speaking, I'm giving you information all the time. So this is widely transactional. Now it's so long that inside I have to organize it. You realize I've been speaking for a long time, and I've been using a lot of tones because inside this big transactional text, I am organizing it. And what is that function?
The textual.
The textual, right? Which I am ignoring now, okay? I will be ignoring it. Let's work on the transactional now, okay? When we talk about transactional, we will think about the use of the tone in terms of the world of the listener and the world of the speaker, okay? This is Brazil's theory. It's a phonetician. So he says that the world of the listener and the world of the speaker have something in common, right? There's always what we call an area of common ground. Yes, or area of convergence between the listener and the speaker, which is the things that we have in common. Okay? So there are many things in terms of information. Yes, we're talking about information. There are things that are outside the area of common ground. Okay? For example, do you know how old my son is? Do you know? No. So that would be here. That information would be here. It's not part of the common ground, right? So as a speaker, when I tell you my son's age, I am probably going to express it as new information. And we say that I'm going to proclaim it, right? So when something is not part of the common ground, we treat it as new information and we proclaim it, okay? And the tone I use to proclaim is the proclaiming tone, the fall. Okay? The fall is called the proclaiming tone when it works within the transactional function. Okay? Remember Claudia the neighbor, Claudia the teacher, Claudia whatever. Well, now the textual fall was increment, completion, whatever. Now the transactional fall is called proclaiming fall. And what does it show the listener? That what I say is
New information.
new information, okay? My son is 17. Now you know. Now that I said it, okay, this area of common ground has changed because now the fact that my son is 17 is already part of the shared, of the common ground, okay? Now, as you know, my son is 17. Now you know it. When I say it, I will probably refer to that information because it's part of the common ground, okay? It's shared knowledge. So when I refer to something that you are supposed to know already, I will talk about referring tone. The referring tone is the fall rise or the rise. Both are referring tones. And you tell me, oh, so your son is 16. My son is 17. My son is 17. What do you feel with this referring tone? What am I implying to you when I say my son is 17?
No, I feel
You-
bad.
Come on, you know it. Okay? You know it. My son is 17. My son is 17. Why are you telling me that he's 16? Yes? So the fall rise or the rise transactionally are used to refer to what we call shared knowledge, okay? And I would like to make a point of this expression, shared knowledge, because otherwise you will use the term old information and we will be in trouble because we have been using the term old information to refer to the nucleus, remember, to narrow focus. So let us not use the term old information because we will be confusing, right? Broad focus, narrow focus. So referring tone, let's talk about shared knowledge, which is or common ground, okay? Yes.
This is not to do, but how do you stress numbers?
17.
So it's
18.
double stressed.
double stress. Next class, after the winter holiday, no winter holidays, we're going to see something that happens to numbers and other things that may change the stress pattern of those numbers, right? Okay, so is this clear? Are we okay? Yeah, more or less? Wow, you're not happy, Leonida.
No, I would like to practice more.
Okay, so let's see what happens with the question, with the text, right? So the first thing we need to, or the basic interactional shape or structure, right, in dialogues when we are within the transactional function is question answer, isn't it? Questions and answers, typical of transactional, right? Typical. So what type of questions do you know? Transactionally speaking, okay, don't tell me there's a request, invitation, because that's the other realm, okay? Now we're dealing with information. There are two types of questions, right? One type of question where you have no idea what the answer is. We will call them finding out questions. Can I erase this? Yes, you go on because it's part of the same, right? Transactional. So questions, we will have finding out questions. We call them finding out, right? And we will use for. We have no idea what the answer is. What do you think the typical shape of that type of question is when you don't know the answer?
It's a fault.
Yes, but what's the shape, the grammatical shape?
A direct WH question?
WH questions, right? This is the typical finding out question, right? Now, I am more interested in the fact that they are finding out questions than the fact that they are WH questions, right? Because sometimes a WH question may not be a finding out question. So try to avoid saying, oh, I used a fall, a proclaiming tone, because it's a WH question. No, first make sure it's a finding out question and answer that, because it's a finding out question. The fact that it's a WH question helps a lot, okay? It helps a lot. So what fall is this? The neighbor, the teacher, what fall is this? Is it
Sorry, I can't see. Can you move it a little? Thank you.
what fall is this?
Proclaiming, you mean?
The proclaiming fall, right? Because we're dealing with the transactional function of the tone, okay? So what's your name? Where do you live? Where does he come from? I don't know, you tell me, okay? What time is the party? How much is it? How many guests were there? Yeah, 4, 5, 7. Okay, clear? What other type of questions do we have?
Yes, no questions.
Okay, yes, no question is the shape again, right? And I'm not interested in that because a yes, no question may have many functions. What's the function that we want now?
Checking.
Checking. Yes, no questions normally have a checking function. What does it mean? What does checking mean? That you have to answer yes or no. Okay, I want affirmative, negative. And in those cases, we use referring tones for rise or rise. Okay. All right, so this is transactionally. Let's have a look at the text. Can you take the first sentence, please, Mariano?
Why do you want to emigrate to Australia? Oh, sorry. Why do you want to emigrate to Australia, Mr. Gibson?
Okay, what's Mr. Gibson?
I took it, like I separated it. It is vocative.
It's a final vocative.
Hmm.
So why do you separate it?
I don't know.
We mentioned, I think you will have this on the sheet of paper of special cases of tonicity. And so we said that they are non-nuclear tails, final vocative. So don't separate it. If it is a non-nuclear tail, then it means that it's just the tail, okay? Okay, so nothing on Mr. Gibson. The only thing you can do, we're going to see this later on, is after you have a fall, you can use a rise on the final vocative to soften the effect of that preceding fall, right? But that rise is only social, right? It has a social effect and that's it. That's a possibility, okay? But let's analyze the tone. What tone do you want in this question, Mariano?
Proclaiming tone.
A proclaiming fall, right? Yes. Why?
Because you are finding out. It's a finding out
This
question.
is a finding out question, right? So why do you want to emigrate to Australia, Mr. Gibson? I want to know. Tell me, right? Okay, next one, Leonidas, answer.
I don't. I just
Oh,
wanted.
okay. You said, I don't. Okay.
Yes,
I don't.
I was in doubt here. I wanted. I used a rise because I think that I'm trying to claim linguistic control.
Before linguistic control, you have to decide if this is proclaim, if it's new information, or if it is common ground or shared
No,
knowledge.
I think it's new information. It's
That's
proclaiming, so it's a 4.
I don't. You don't know it, I tell you. I don't. I don't want to emigrate to Australia. He's telling him. The way you said it sounded like, why do you ask me? I don't. Everybody knows I don't want to. Who would like to go to Australia? I don't. You imply that this is part of the shared knowledge, right? You are supposed to know that I don't want to go to move to Australia. And I felt that when you said, I don't. Why do you ask me that? How could you be so silly to think that I want to emigrate to Australia? Okay, is this clear? Okay, Dana, you want to say something?
Yes, I would say that as I don't. I would go higher and then lower. Is it correct?
If you go high-low, it's a fall.
All right, because then I thought I don't, and it's
Okay.
different.
Well, the level of the fall gives you the attitude, okay? But it's always new information. So if you say, I don't, you mean, I'm surprised that you ask me. I answer new information. I inform you that I don't, but I'm surprised. And I say, I don't. I'm bored, for example, but I'm telling you new information. So the meaning of the tone is always the same. New information. I'm giving you the information that you want, okay? Go on with the next part. Gabriela, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Pardon?
No, she says, I don't. I just,
Oh, I thought he. Okay, I just want to leave England.
uh-huh. What is this?
I use a proclaiming tone because I'm still giving new information.
Yeah, the other one doesn't know, so I tell you, I only want to leave England, which you don't know. I tell you that I want to leave England. Okay? What would you make of, I just want to leave England? I just want to leave England. Or I just want to leave England.
Like there's something coming, like it's introductory.
No, it could be.
Like it's shared information.
Yes, what could
Like
it be?
maybe you know that I want to live in England. Why are you asking me that?
Yes, it could mean something like everybody wants to leave England. Yes, like here in Argentina, when we have these terrible crises, everybody wants to leave. So I just want to leave Argentina, as everybody else, as you probably know, Yes, we can call this the as you know effect. Sometimes you use it even if the other person doesn't know it, but you mean, oh, I'm sure we share this. I'm sure you know it. I want to leave Argentina. Everybody wants to leave Argentina. If I say it like that, okay, I imply that. That's a possibility. But well, it's a bit too far-fetched, I suppose, here. So I just want to leave England, proclaiming new information. Malena, go on.
Pardon. I used the four eyes, maybe.
No, pardon is not a full rise.
Was it a rise?
It's a rise. It's a rise. Okay, this is a special type of question that we call repetition question, right? Or question for repetition. It takes rises because you need to claim linguistic control when you ask someone to repeat. It can't be a full rise. It has to be a rise. And you use it with pardon, pardon, or you can use it with WH questions, and you place the nucleus with a rise on the WH word. Okay? Let's leave at 7. What time? What time? I mean, repeat, I couldn't hear you. My name's Lumpkin. What was your name? What was your name? These are basically the only examples where in English you would place the nucleus on the WH word in questions. We tend to avoid it, okay? Unless it's a question for repetition. We call them questions for repetition or repetition questions, right? And that's why I say, pardon? Okay. Dana, can you read the next one?
Yes. Have you got any qualifications?
What's that?
I think I'm supposed to use the full because I am asking something that I don't know.
Okay, would you say this is a finding out question?
Yes, so I should use the proclaiming tone.
But you're expecting a yes or no answer.
Yes.
Have you got any qualifications? Yes, I do, or no, I don't.
All right.
You
so,
tell me, is this what you think? Or when you say, have you got any qualifications? You expect him to say, I'm an accountant, a doctor, and an engineer. What do you think?
I suppose I just want to know yes or no.
Okay.
And then the
if
answer,
this
yes,
is what you want, okay, then depending on what he answers, you go on asking. So if this is what you want, that's a checking question. What tone do you use?
the referring tone.
Okay, which is what you did. You used a form rise when you said, have you got any qualifications? Okay, but you can the other interpretation is also possible. Maybe I won't tell me what your qualifications are. So have you got any qualifications? And I assume you want, yes, I'm a teacher. Okay, you want more. You want me to give you more information. Okay, both are possible. Now, in transcriptions, I would strongly advise you to interpret yes/no questions as checking questions, because that's the most likely effect of a yes/no question. Okay, and you cannot explain in writing. Oh yes, I thought that it was like this or like that. Yeah, Malena.
Can you read this question with a rise and a four rise? Because I have.
Have you got any qualifications? Have you got any qualifications? Cations, that's the difference. Okay?
So the nucleus is in qualifications, it's broad focus.
Yes, that's for broad focus. And then the next question is, Gabriela?
Okay. Qualifications.
Okay.
It's repeated.
Yeah, this is what we call echo question. This is an echo question.
Oh, okay. So it's different from a repetition question?
Yes, the function is different.
Okay.
When I say qualifications, does it mean please repeat?
Right. No.
Is he saying please repeat? I couldn't hear you. No. Here's qualifications. Oh, well, yeah. I need to think about it. So echo questions also take rises.
Both rises or just a simple rise?
Rise, not fall rise. Only rise. You need to claim linguistic control for this type of question. Why do you use echo questions? Well, when there's something you need to clarify, for example. Okay? There's something there that you need to check. And what you do is you repeat what they said, part or all. Changing the pronouns. He could have said, have I got any qualifications? Okay.
Okay, so the way I read it was wrong then, because I read.
No, it's okay. You used a rise. You used a
Oh, I
rise.
thought I had used a
No,
full.
no. Qualifications. Qualifications.
Do I
Mariano?
continue? Ah.
Oh, I've never been able to pass any exams. This is a fall. This is a proclaiming tone. Because I'm stating something that's not shared information.
So it's new information, right? That's a proclamation. When you said oh, if you exclaim, okay, when you see an exclamation mark, that's the best candidate for a proclaiming fall. When you exclaim something, you present it as new information. Okay, so exclamations are typically associated with proclaiming falls.
Sorry, Claudia, couldn't I use arise instead of fall to mean that maybe you know that I don't have any, I never been able to pass an exam?
Yes,
Or...
yeah, that's the effect. I've never been able to pass any exams, meaning, yeah, you know this. It wouldn't be a very happy choice. Imagine that you're trying to get your visa, okay, to go and I haven't been able to pass any exams. It's obvious, can't you see me, that I would never pass any exams. I'm not worried about it, yeah, or something like that. I don't think I would use that if I were in his shoes, but it's a possibility. Again, when you write a transcription, try to go for the most straightforward thing. Yes, what you think. Don't try to make, I don't know, weird interpretations or something that, yeah, the most straightforward thing, okay? Malena.
Yes. Well, what would you do in Australia? How will you earn a living?
No, the first question.
Yes. Well, what will you do in Australia? Okay, yeah, I used a fall, a proclaiming fall on Australia because it is a finding out question.
Okay, the only thing I don't agree with is that you should place it in Australia.
Because it is shared information, right?
No,
Australia.
this is old information. You see why we told you careful with it? Old information.
So the nucleus should be on do, right? So, well, what would you do in Australia?
What will you do in Australia? Okay. Again, you can tell me, okay, well, but I think this might be interpreted as a checking question. If you haven't been able to pass any exams, then what do you expect to do in Australia? So maybe you can use a referring tone, meaning shared knowledge. As you know, there's nothing you can do in Australia if you don't have any qualifications, right? So what will you do in Australia? That's a possibility, but I wouldn't advise you to do that in a transcription, because I will correct it. I will say this is wrong, because you can't tell me that this is what you thought. The most direct thing here is that this is a finding out question. What will you do in Australia? Tell me. Okay? Leonidas.
How will you earn a living? So it's a fall, a proclaiming tone.
A proclaiming fall.
And he's
Because-
asking, it's a finding out question.
It's a finding out, yes. How is WH, you know? It qualifies as WH. Dana, go on.
I don't know.
What's
Shall I
that?
read everything else?
No, that.
Right. I think this is the rise tone. I'm using the referring rise because it's something that the listener is supposed to know.
Why?
Um,
How is
I
the
suppose
how is
when-
that person supposed to know that I don't know how I'm going to earn a living?
Yeah, true. All right. So then I would read it like with a fall.
Which
I
is
don't know.
precisely what you did.
Oh, I'm a little bit lost with the rise tone because
Okay.
I've been absent, so I have been trying to listen. Sorry, but well,
Okay, say it.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I tell you that I don't know. I inform you. Okay, this is new information. It's proclaiming fall. Gabriela.
I'm sorry, I have a terrible cough.
Okay, no problem. Mariano, go on.
But I won't be able to work very hard. Oh no, I think maybe we can use a for rise here because it is the preparatory for the increment.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
But yes, or maybe I can use a fall because it's new information.
Which is better, do you think?
I would go for a fall rise. For a fall rise.
Okay, so you have to say them together. I won't be able to work very hard. I've got a bad back.
A bad back.
Because I've
yes.
got a bad
and then
back.
a fall.
Okay. And then a fall for the increment, right? Or you can, this is when we talked about increment, you see, both could be shown as new information, new pieces of information. I won't be able to work very hard. I've got a bad back. New information, new information. Two separate increments, right? Okay. Questions? No? Okay.
Yes. Can you read I don't know with a rise tone?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. Meaning, why ask me? Why do you ask me? I don't know. How am I supposed to know? As you know, I don't know. Okay? Good. Okay, let's have a break. We meet again at 5 to 8. Okay? 5 to 8.
Okay.
Hi. I would like to work a bit on dictation practice now so that we can work on discrimination of the rise and fall rise. Okay. So, ready? These are short exchanges. The first one is, I worked all day on the car. And when I finished, it still sounded no better. So there we go. I worked all day on the car.
Sorry, can we repeat?
I worked all day on the car. 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 Malena, what do you hear?
Well, I had the onset on all and a 4 on day.
Okay. If you can, remember it's more advisable to start with the nucleus, then the tone, and only then do you move on to the onset, okay?
Okay.
It's better as a technique, eh? But yes, that's what you have is a fall on day, onset on all. Anything else?
Yes, rhythmical stress on car.
Okay, so that's what I said. I worked all day on the car. I worked all day on the car. Okay? Can we guess if they were talking about something? We don't know, but we can guess. What? What have they been talking about?
On the car was it's all old information, that for
Well,
sure.
yeah. So it's either there and it's I've worked all day on this car, okay? Because it's there, or because they've been talking about it, the car, okay? And then he goes on, and when I'd finished, 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 and when I'd finished. Leonidas, what do you hear?
I think I hear a rise in finish.
Yes, finished.
With no onset.
No onset. And when I'd finished, and when I'd finished.
Can you place an onset on when now so I can hear the difference?
And when I'd finished, and when I'd finished.
Yes, but I thought a low onset.
And when I'd finished, it would make no difference. If you, in this case, if you write a low onset, for example, I wouldn't correct it.
I did.
Because this is prominent, you know, because of the vowel. So a low stress would really not be such a great difference. So for me, it would be okay. And when I'd finished, and when I'd finished, yes. Gabriela, can you use a fall rise there? Can you say it? Let me hear it.
And when I'd finished.
Okay. Dana, a rise.
And when I finished.
That's not a rise. Say it in slow motion. And when
I finished. And when I finished.
No, and when I'd.
And when I finished.
Ah, there. That's a rise, okay?
Yeah,
that's why it's called the takeoff, you know? Because, and when I'd finished, yeah, even lower than the low pre-head. And
all
when
right.
I finished, Malena, fall rise.
And when I finished.
Yes. Mariano, rise. Mariano's not there. Leonidas, rise. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, no problem. Yes, Leonidas, fall rise.
And when I finished,
That's not a fall rise.
and when I finished,
No, you're keep your head still, okay? Because you're doing the movement, you're doing the tone with your head.
okay,
No, so for a fall rise, this syllable must be very acute. Can you say this word only with a fall rise?
finished,
No.
finished, fi-
Finished.
finished,
There again.
and when I finished,
That's a fall rise. Say it again.
and when I finished,
Higher.
and when I finished,
There it is. Try not to move your head because this is
okay,
not helping you. Okay.
yes.
Right. That's a difference. Tell me, we haven't heard the rest, but what do you think is the use of this rise here? What do you feel? Why do you think the speaker is using the rise? What function do you think he's exploiting?
The transactional function
Why?
use, sorry. I think that person is claiming linguistic control so as to keep on speaking.
Oh, good. He wants to keep linguistic control to keep on speaking. To keep on speaking, what function is that?
Transactional?
No. Transactional is new information, common ground. But if you say he wants to go on, what is that?
Then interactional.
No.
I run out of options.
No, you don't. You shouldn't. We've worked half a year. And now you want to erase everything.
The textual tone.
Textual, right? Don't forget about the textual. Now that you started with transactional, now you or forget about the textual. That's textual, probably. And when I'd finished, what do you feel? Okay, I say when I'd finished, I'm going to say what happened. Okay, you got the feeling that he's going to go on. That's why he's using the rounds. This is textual. It's dependent on what comes next. And he goes on to say, it still sounded no better. 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 Leonidas, what you hear?
I hear a fall, and the nucleus is in still. Starts there. It's a narrow focus, and it well, there's no onset.
Yes. Rhythmicals?
In sounded and beta.
Okay. It still sounded no better. Okay? Good.
May
Yes.
you go over the previous one in which I ran out of options? Could you explain the textual metafunction there because I couldn't get it?
But it was exactly what you answered. You said he wants to go on. He wants to exploit this idea of, wait, because I'm going to say something. That's textual. Remember we said that that the rise is, gives this idea of dependence, incompleteness. Okay?
Okay, so
that's
that's
textual.
to do with, okay.
That's textual. He's not using this because this is shared knowledge, because this is common ground. This is not common ground. And you got the feeling he wants to go on. He signals that the idea is not complete. That's textual. Okay? That's a use. Okay. And then he says, I say, I need your help. 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 What, Mariano?
I've been trying to look or to understand what's the word that echoes in my mind. I would say need.
I need your help.
I need your help.
I need your help.
Okay, so help.
Okay, what tell me?
Oh, sorry. It is a fall.
A fall. And what is it that you heard on need?
The onset.
Yeah. I need your help. I need your help. And then the answer. Would you say this is transactional or textual or exchange of goods and services? What do you think?
Exchange,
Yes, how?
because it's going to ask for something of the other person.
Okay, it could be, yeah, please help me, meaning help me. Okay, I need your help, meaning help me. Or maybe it could be transactional. I tell you that I need your help, yes, but it's probably more of a social exchange, right? But, well, we don't know. If you're in trouble, I'll certainly help. If you're in trouble, 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 Gabriela.
I hear a rise on the on the nucleus trouble.
Uh-huh, yes.
Um,
If you're in trouble,
onset on if.
yes, yes, that's what I said. If you're in trouble, if you're in trouble, okay? What's the function of this rise here? What do you feel?
I feel like it's textual, maybe,
Why? Yes, it is.
because it's not shared information. So it's like the introduction.
Yeah, you feel that.
Yeah.
What I say, okay, if this happens, okay, I'll help you. So then the relevant thing comes next, okay? Wait for it. That's textual, right? So if you're in trouble, repeat. Dana, use a full rise now. Let's practice the full rise and the rise.
Yes. If you're in trouble,
Okay. Malena, rise.
If you're in trouble,
Mariano, full rise.
If you're in trouble. If you're in trouble.
Leonidas, rise.
If you're in trouble,
Gabriela, full rise.
If you're in trouble,
Dana, rise.
if you're in trouble. No, wait. If you're in trouble.
That's a full rise.
No, yes. If you're in trouble.
There it is. Malena, full rise.
if you're in trouble,
Mariano, rise.
If you're in trouble.
Leonidas, full rise.
if you're in trouble,
Yes.
Yes.
Gabriela, rise.
if you're in trouble,
Okay. Both are okay in the textual function, right? Both indicate that there's something else coming, yes, as we have already analyzed, right? And then the answer is, I'll certainly help. So if you're in trouble, I'll certainly help. I'll certainly help. I'll certainly help. I'll certainly help. Dana, what's that? I'll
Nucleus
certainly- Yes,
on help.
I'll certainly help. I said, I'll certainly help.
Right, so nucleus on certainly.
Yes, what tone?
Full.
Yes. And why do you think this speaker had the nucleus on certainly?
Help is all the information. Yes.
Yes, just maybe mentioned. So anything else? I'll certainly help.
Yes. Arithmetical stress on help.
Okay, there we go. And what's the function of this fall?
It's the increment.
It's the increment, yes. This was dependent.
The preparatory.
Well, it's dependent because it's a rise. If it had been a full rise, it would be, yes, okay. And this is the increment, right? Are we okay with that? That's the same we've been doing all the year. Now, as you know, this is a compound information unit, right? What is the function of the compound information unit? The whole thing. What are you doing when you say this whole thing? If you're in trouble, I'll certainly help.
Organizing the information, isn't it? The
These
text.
two organize information, right? But once you have the whole thing organized, what's the function? If you're in trouble, I'll certainly help.
It's an answer.
Yeah, but you're not telling me much with it's an answer. What is the function of this answer?
Yeah, to have another answer, to see what the other person says, if he wants my help or not.
Yeah, but I want you to analyze it in terms of what we saw today. I will
I
give you
don't
the two,
understand the
either
question.
or. Okay, that's a question then. I'll rephrase it. You know that this rise and this fall are organizing these two IP into one compound information unit, okay? Now, what's the function of this compound information unit? Is it transactional or is it a case of exchange of goods and services? If you're in trouble, I'll certainly help. The whole thing has a function.
Exchange,
Why?
because I'm offering myself to help.
Exactly. You're offering to help.
But
Yes,
I know that you mentioned before that the most important factor here is may be the offer, but as it is we have an if, it's a supposition. How do you say that?
supposition.
Supposition. Maybe what's more important is the fact that I will do it, but I'm informing you that I will do it.
If you think that's the case, then it will be transactional.
Okay, so it's up to us.
Yes.
And the most important thing is the main clause there.
Yes. But
Think
I mean, the other one, I mean, the subordinate accompanies the main clause. So they are part of the same. Okay. I'm not sure that I would say it's so easily up to you. Because if I say I'll help, this will indicates volition. When you see the communicative function of this volition, what's volition? Are you informing him?
So it's not only exchange of goods and services. It's not only when you influence by what you're saying the behavior of others, but also your own behavior.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes. And by helping him, you will probably influence him as well. Okay. So the communicative function is not to inform. Okay. It's another thing, exchange of goods and services, right? What about the previous one? It said, and when I'd finished, it still sounded no better. Again, here we have a compound information unit, right? Made up of two IPs, okay, that are sort of joined together by the tone. And when I'd finished, it still sounded no better. Now tell me, what is the function of the compound? When I'd finished, it still sounded no better.
It's transactional.
This is transactional. You're telling him that when you finish, it sounded no better. Okay? That the whole thing is transactional. You are giving information. Okay?
Sorry, can you repeat the name for the preparatory, but in the case whenever we find a rise, because I
Dependent.
dependent.
Dependence. Okay. Right. And so, next one.
Sorry. Regarding that, it is dependent on the other parts. As we have
increment,
preparatory
increment, or independent, increment. It can still be the increment.
Ah, okay, good.
Another one. Well, that's my opinion. Well, that's my opinion. And the other one says, if you think so, that's all that matters. And then, well, that's my opinion. 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 Dana, I think it's your turn. No, Malina. Well, that's my opinion.
Okay, I placed the nucleus on my. It is a. Can you repeat? Sorry.
Well, that's my opinion.
I think it is a 4 eyes. But I'm
It
not sure.
is. Well, that's my opinion. Well, that's my opinion. Is there an onset?
I don't hear one.
No, there is no onset, right? Well, that's my opinion. Rhythmicals?
On opinion.
Opinion, right? Okay, well, that's my opinion. Okay. And the other one then answers, if you think so, and it goes on. So this is all he has to say, right? Well, that's my opinion, he says, and he stops there. Well, that's my opinion. What do you think is the use of this fall rise? Is this textual? Well, that's my opinion. Is it textual?
Maybe it's, I don't think it's textual because we don't have the increment.
He's not preparing anything, okay?
Contrastive.
The contrast is shown with the nucleus. It could have been with any tone, okay? But now I want to know about the tone. What's the function of this fall rise then?
It's social.
Social exchange?
No?
No.
To be more polite?
No, forget about social
Oh,
exchange for the
okay.
time being, okay? Forget about that. Yeah, no, it would be just for social noise. No.
It's transactional.
How?
It's the person is giving her opinion, his or her opinion.
Information, right? Transactional is information. So
Yes.
I am informing you that this is my opinion. I tell you. But the referring tone is supposed to show common ground. So what does he mean?
So that that the other, go Dana, go.
No, I was going to say that the opinion has already been said, so the other knows the opinion. That's why it's common ground, maybe.
Yeah, even if it hasn't been said, you imply that it has, that you know, okay? This is what I told you, the you know effect. Even if you haven't said the opinion, say, well, that's my opinion. As you know, this is my opinion, okay? We both know that this is my opinion. You present it as common ground, okay? It has, you can, this is a very useful term for this type of fall rise when you have this you know effect, which is implicational, okay? You can say that we can call these fall rises implicational because you imply something, right? By saying this is part of our common ground, you imply something that the other person has to guess, okay? Did you like your date last night? Oh, we went on a blind. I went on a blind date. Ah, did you like him? Well, he's nice. He's nice. What do you think? Did I like him? He's nice. Okay. As you know, he's nice, but there's a but implied. Okay. It's different if I say, oh, he's very nice. 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 I imply something. You guess, okay, what it is. So, well, that's my opinion. And the other person says, if you think so, if you think so, if you think so, if you
So
think
Claudia,
so. Yes.
we can use a rise or a full rise for implication.
No, implication only full rise.
Okay.
Only the full rise. If you think so, if you think so, if you think so. Mariano, what do you hear?
A full rise.
On,
Think, sorry.
if you think so, if you think so, and I said, if you think so, if you think so, you think so.
No.
What's the most prominent word, Mariano? If you think so.
If it's not think, it's you.
You. That's the nucleus. Now repeat from you up to the end to see if you can identify the tone. If you think so.
If you think so.
What's that?
A full rise.
You think so.
Okay.
You
No.
think. If it's a full rise, the nucleus must be acute. And
Yeah,
I said,
that's what troubled me. I was thinking of
okay.
think as.
So once you identified the nucleus and you know it's you, if you is grave, that's, you know, the tone.
Yes, it's a
If
rise.
you think so, if you think so, if you think so, that's a rise. For a full rise, it has to be you think so, you think so. If you think so, that's what I said. If you think so, rhythmicals.
In think.
No, on so.
Okay.
Why? Because of the rule of 3 that we're going to see next class. Okay, you will be having strong, strong, strong. So the one in the middle disappears. After the rise, the rhythmicals go on top. Okay, they go above, not on top of the word. Yes, just before. If you
Sorry,
think so.
so it's a content word? Because I wouldn't have put the
Okay.
pelotita there.
Well, it's okay. I wouldn't correct it anyway because it has a strong vowel. So the effect is very similar. Okay. But I wouldn't know whether is it a lexical item? Do you know? What is it? What's so?
Is it an adverb? I don't know.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't know. I don't know. Well, let me know next time you find it, look it up in the dictionary, and you tell me. Yes.
Could you say the nucleus on think?
If you think so. If you think so. I said, if you think so. If you think so. Why do you think this speaker is choosing you as the nucleus?
Yes. Okay.
Why?
Because probably think is old information. It has
No.
been.
Well, it may be, if you
Or
want to say my
to
opinion,
contrast.
but there's another reason, more important.
To contrast.
Contrast. If you think so.
To contrast on my, right? It's my opinion.
Yes, and the other one says, if you think so. I don't care what other people think, yeah, but if you think so, that's all that matters, he says. That's all that matters. 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 Leonidas, what's that? That's all.
Can you repeat one?
Matters.
Well, the nucleus is in all.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
No, it matters.
Okay, the onset is giving you a lot of trouble. Remember, don't listen from left to right, yes? The other way about, from right to left. So matters is the nucleus. What tone did you hear?
Can you repeat
That's
one more
all
time?
that matters.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Just no, for the tone, nucleus up to the end. Forget about the rest. So I say, that's all that matters. You repeat in your head, matters.
A fall.
At all, okay? If you say the whole thing, it will only confuse you. That's all that matters.
And the onset in all.
Okay, that's all that matters. Okay? Yes, Malena.
Is it a low four?
Yes.
Can you do both high four and low
That's
four?
all that matters. That's all that matters. Matters. That's all that matters. Matters. In dictations, we don't show the difference, okay? Somewhere in the middle will do. So, what's the use of this rise and the use of this fall? If you think so, that's all that matters.
Dependence and increment.
Yes. Do you agree? He's going to go on here. So, if you think so, that's all that matters. This makes up a compound information unit. If you think so, that's all that matters. Now, what's the function of the compound? Are you informing? Are you inviting, asking, requesting, ordering, promising, threatening, or are you just informing, telling?
Maybe it's transactional.
Yeah, telling. Remember that transactional is so frequent, right? It's the most frequent one. And yes, you're telling him, if you think so, that's all that matters. I tell you. Okay? I'm giving you information. I'm telling you. Okay? Good, wonderful. So for next time, I'm going to ask you to read chapter 3 from Tench, which is about tonicity, where you will start reading about the exceptions and the special cases of tonicity. And next time, we will be working on the text 3 that we with exchange of goods and services. Okay? And I will ask you to do dictation and transcription. Keep practicing, and that's it. Okay, well, good luck with your exams, if you're sitting for any, and if not, enjoy your little rest. Yes, so see you.
Sorry, Claudia. Could you stay a little after this class? I have to ask you something.
You want to talk to me?
Yes.